Minasan, yokoso. Welcome to Ready Set Kimono's Pop Culture Analysis. I'm Melissa, and in this series, I will be looking at different pop culture characters in games, movies, and TV who are generally accepted as wearing kimono, and I'll analyze them. Are they authentic? Something that a Japanese woman would be proud to walk down the street in? Is it based upon kimono? Something that could resemble a kimono, but to a trained eye, things are a little bit wrong? Or is it a downright catastrophe? And between you and me, catastrophes are the most common type of kimono I see. But we'll see what we have. For game-related episodes, I'll be working together with Girlgamergab, or as I call her, Evelyn. And for this episode, her husband Paika has agreed to help us with the filming. He also has his own channel, called Mamma Mima TV.
We will be using my Let's Play footage, Girlgamergab's, for reference. Yay! Today, we'll be focusing on a brand new game for the rest of the world straight from Japan, Fatal Frame 5. Fatal Frame will be released in North America, Europe, and Australia, October 2015.
Now, disclaimer time. I'm not a gamer. The last game I played was Mario, and I ran Mario right off the first cliff he came across. But I'm surrounded by gamers in my social circle, and that's how I found out about Fatal Frame 5.
My sister came to visit me, and I asked Melissa if she'd like to dress us up in kimonos. I thought it would make for a nice memory and video on YouTube. We started talking about kimono in video games, and thought that it would be really cool to do vids about.
I'm so excited! I have high hopes that the kimono will be authentic, since this game is made in Japan. So, since I don't generally play games, I'm going into this analysis almost completely blind. I don't know the characters, so Evelyn, can you tell me how I do?
What do you mean?
Well, kimono can tell you a lot about a person. How old they are they married, are they a guy or a girl, what season it is, if you stick to the rules.
Oh, okay. Are we going to cover every single kimono in the game? Because there's a lot.
Yeah, let's not do every kimono in the game, but let's make a selection of the ones that stood out.
Hold on! First a warning that for some of you this video can contain spoilers for Fatal Frame 5. If you don't want to have story elements or scenes revealed, you might want to wait until you've played the game yourself.
Good point. So, where should we start?
I remember one particular girl when playing the game, whose kimono looked so weird to me. I don't think I've seen that kimono that much in real life.
Hey, that looks like something from Shichi-go-san.
Ah, Shichi-go-san. That's literally 753. It's a traditional rite of passage and festival day in Japan for 3 and 7-year-old girls and 3 and 5-year-old boys, held annually on November 15 to celebrate the growth and well-being of young children.
Yeah, except that's weird. The outfit she's wearing is for a 3-year-old girl nowadays. This ain't a modern girl, is she?
Well, I guess. She could have been dead for a long time, so maybe she's from a time period before it became accustomed to dress 3-year-olds in that style. The earliest parts in this game are said to take place somewhere in the 19th century. So that sounds about right. Right?
That makes sense. What looks like an apron over her kimono is called a hifu. It's a remnant of the Chinese influence on kimono style. Nowadays, however, only 3-year-old girls wear it during Shichi-go-san.
This makes me wonder, how about the boys in this game? I know a few nice cutscenes where we can get a closer look at Aso when he was still a child.
Okay, now we're moving on to the realm of men's kitsuke.
Kitsuke?
Kitsuke is the art of dressing in kimono. Men's kitsuke is different from women's kitsuke, and men's kimono are designed differently from women's kimono as well.
Oh, kitsuke. I see. So it's the characters for kiru and tsukeru. Ah.
And there's a huge difference between men's and women's kitsuke, one of which is the ohashori.
And what's that?
It's the part of the kimono that folds over at the waist. See? Here it is on my kimono. There's a couple of different theories about where the ohashori came from, but the one that I like best comes from the sumptuary laws imposed by the shogun during the Edo period. The shogun forbid things like gold, silver, elaborate embroidery, and certain bright colors to all but the highest class.
So how did rich merchants get around these restrictions?
In subtle ways. They would put bright colors in the lining of their kimono or wear a really bright under kimono that wouldn't be too visible. They would paint intricate designs instead of embroidering them, and they would include extra fabric in their daughter's kimono that would have to be tucked up and out of the way to walk.
Wait, only daughters?
Yep. Men and boys don't have an ohashori, the fold, on their kimono. Nowadays, that is.
Wait, but this character does.
Yep. Children grow like weeds, and kimono are expensive, so historically, they would wear hand-me-downs that were too big. Naturally, they would fold it at the waist to keep it from dragging. Nowadays, though, the practice of having an ohashori in men's and boys' kimono has died out. But there's something else about his kimono that I just don't like. But I need to change first to show you what it is. Could you keep them entertained?
Sure.
Okay, here I am.
And you've changed.
Yes, right now I'm wearing a modern man's kimono. And look, no ohashori. But what I really wanted to show you is the sleeves. The sleeves on a man's kimono are attached to the body for almost the entire length. Only a couple of centimeters at the bottom swing free.
I thought kimono sleeves swung loose.
For women's kimono, they aren't attached to the body below the arm, and they swing free.
Oh, so the women's sleeves in the game are done right.
Yes, but now you can see that the men's sleeves clearly aren't.
It even looks like there's a gap between the shoulder seam and the start of the sleeve. It looks more like Katy Perry's idea of a kimono than a genuine kimono.
No comment. Moving on.
Oh, I know. There's this albino girl a lot of people like, and she's always wearing a kimono. Let's take a look at her.
At first glance, she looks like a bride. But the big difference is that the obi is not white. White accessories are okay, but for a true white bridal kimono, both the kimono and the obi must be white. I would just call this a white kimono, and you would never see a pure white kimono in Japan, except at a wedding or a funeral.
But there's something printed on her kimono. What is it?
The pattern on her kimono is called rangiku, or spider chrysanthemum.
Oh, that makes so much sense now, because her name is Shiragiku, and that means white chrysanthemum.
Ah, very fitting in that case. Chrysanthemums are depicted in many different forms on kimono, and rangiku are some of the most striking. I'm wearing an obi decorated with rangiku right now.
Wait, when did you change?
You'll never know. Chrysanthemums also have a lot of symbolism behind them. They're considered an autumn motif, and they're only worn during the autumn season. Evelyn, when does this game take place?
Good question. I have no clue. Seeing as Yuri's practically in her underwear, can't be winter.
Right. In this case, I'm guessing the design matches her name instead of a season. They used to design kimono with only one season in mind, so they would only use flowers that represented one specific season. But nowadays, it's common to design a kimono with flowers from several different seasons on it, so it can be worn most of the year.
Interesting note. Chrysanthemums are the crest of the royal family of Japan, and they symbolize longevity. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have, spoilers, the brides.
To me, it's pretty clear that they're brides. Brides in Japan have a choice of a white bridal outfit or a colored bridal outfit. White has a couple of meanings in Japanese society. First, white means purity and innocence, much like it does in Western culture with our white wedding dresses. But white also has a more sinister meaning. Traditionally, white is the color used to dress the dead. Even today, pilgrims will wear a white coat to signify that they are ready to die on their trip, if it comes to that. That is why you will never see a pure white kimono in Japan, except for at a wedding or a funeral. In fact, here I am dressed in my pilgrim gear. I completed the 88 temple pilgrimage around Shikoku, and this is what I wore every day. It's a total of 1,400 kilometers.
Oh, you completed it. I'm so jealous. I only did half, but I did walk.
Ah, I drove. The headpiece is called a wataboshi. It's akin to the bridal veil worn with a Western-style wedding dress. It's designed to hide the face of the bride from curious onlookers. After the ceremony, the bride will change her wataboshi for a different headpiece. If you compare the actual wataboshi with the ones here, you'll see that the real wataboshi are a lot stiffer than these appear to be, and they don't have flowers on them. On a final note, here's a picture of a bride in a full white wedding ensemble. Notice anything missing from the game brides?
Wait, isn't there like another layer on top?
Yep, it's called a shiromuku. The colored version is called an iro uchikake.
Oh, I get it. Shiro is white, muku is purity, iro is color, and uchikake is a bridal robe. I'm learning a lot today. They look like padded overcoats.
You know, I own one. I could show it to you.
You do? I want to see.
I have 4, actually. If you decide to wear the white one for your wedding ceremony, you have to change to the color one afterwards. The bottom, the actual kimono, can still be white though. If you start with a colored kimono as a base, then you must wear a colored overcoat. Now, here's an interesting point about the brides. They aren't wearing a shiromuku. No bride today would ever wear just the bottom white kimono without the top layer. It just isn't done. So while these kimono look authentic to the untrained eye, the designers did make some stylistic choices. I suspect it's because shiromuku are very bulky and they look best when the bride is standing.
I think it's also because it would make characters less sexy if it's so bulky, you know? And less layers means less programming for the game's creators.
Yeah, that's very true. The next thing I'd like to point out is the design that's been woven into the fabric. It's called a sayagata, and it's a linked swastika design. A swastika is called a manji in Japanese, and it was a Buddhist symbol long before the Nazis stole it. It's even used on maps today as a symbol for a temple. Sayagata are always shown with the manji on the diagonal, and it's a very popular design on solid colored kimono. Incidentally, Buddhist religious practices in Japan usually focus on the dead and the passing of loved ones. Ceremonies that celebrate milestones in life usually fall under the jurisdiction of the Shinto religion. Now, here's the most striking thing. All kimono have their collars crossed, left side over right side. I always remember this by thinking about leftover rice.
Oh, I heard that it's left over right for girls, right over left for guys.
Wrong!
Sorry.
Guys and girls cross their collars in the same way. The only person who would do right over left would be a dead person. And as you can see here, the collars are crossed right over left. Ladies and gentlemen, we have dead brides. That's right, right collar over left collar is only ever used to dress the dead. So let's see. Right over left collars, white shiromuku, Buddhist symbols. I think the designers wanted to scream out, "Hey, we're dead! Deader than a doornail here!" So, how accurate is that, Evelyn? Are they dead?
That's complicated. Although the main antagonists of this story and Shiragiku are dead, the others aren't. The game doesn't really explain why they're all here, and I think it has something to do with Den's insecurity about women. And Shiragiku's kimono is left to right? That's odd. I think they put all the brides except Shirakiku in the same character design, just because it's easier and only 5% of gamers will understand anyway.
Well, consider yourself educated. That's all I have to say about these kimono. Evelyn, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really glad we got together to make this because I learned a lot.
I enjoyed doing it too. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Did I miss anything? Are there any pop culture kimono that you'd like me to talk about next? Let me know in the comments. For more horror gameplay with an Asian touch, check out Girlgamergab's channel in a link below. For more Japanese culture, check out Paika's channel, Mamma Mima TV. Arigatou gozaimasu.